Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. A few weeks ago, me and a few friends went to Vienna, the capital city of Austria, for a weekend. We visited Schloss Schönbrunn and the gardens looked really beautiful, the Naschmarkt was an interesting experience, the Ephesus Museum was also pretty cool if you like architecture, but my absolute highlight was the Natural History Museum. I was walking around with one of my friends who's into photography, so we spent a lot of time taking pictures of the museum interior and of course the exhibitions. The best part in my opinion was the dinosaur exhibition and the room with the insects. We spent most of the time in this room because my friend really likes butterflies and there were so many cool and cute ones, so I don't blame her at all. Vienna gave me a bunch of ideas for different Fakemon that I hope I can bring to life one day, and also a new fascination with techno music. When I came home to my parents, I went to our garden and looked for some inspiration for a butterfly Fakemon, when I saw that our rain barrels were covered in yellow dust, aka pollen. I'm living next to a meadows and our garden is full of flowers, so that wasn't surprising. But I'm pretty sure it looked more yellow than usual. I tapped the barrel to see if there's anything alive in there, but there was just a leaf, which turned out to be a dead moth, which then turned out to be a perfectly alive but terrified moth, after I tried to remove it with a stick. I'm pretty sure it was a night active moth and it was just sleeping, that's why it didn't move when I tapped the barrel. Anyways, I put it on a tree and it fell asleep again. So I figured out, why not make a pollen butterfly / moth Fakemon? When sketching I didn't have a full concept in mind, besides fluffy round pollen moth. I later mixed in a few aspects of the bumblebee as well, because they're arguably one of the most cutest insects out there. I wanted to give it round legs that looked like it landed in a flower full of pollen and that stuff got stuck to its feet. To make it look more fluffy, I added some spiky fur around its neck, which looked a bit like cat ears, and I don't know why, but I thought that's fitting, so I also threw in a bit of cap in there. It has two antennas with the tips looking like both like balls of pollen but also flowers. Its face has a round orange pattern that is supposed to look like this creature straight up flew into a flower head first, but also like it has a huge spot of huggy on its face. There's also some blushing and whiskers looking pattern to break up the negative space on its face too. In the beginning of the drawing I said that I incorporate some bumblebee elements. Besides the stubby body shape, I wanted to include the bumblebees are too big to fly, but they don't know that, so they can't fly mythos, which isn't true and proven wrong. But yeah, I wanted this Fakemon to look like it can't fly by giving it these tiny wings, and realistically speaking, if this was an actual animal, it definitely couldn't fly, but this is a Pokemon and it will find a way to fly, probably. Well, it's more of a controlled hopping and gliding situation, but we're not gonna tell it that, may frustrate it. This design definitely didn't want the route I originally pictured, but it's more unique this way. The idea in my head was basically a rip of Snom and Frostmoth, but yeah, didn't went there. Here it is, Fluwuwu, a pure grass type. The name is a fusion of fly, flower and wuwu, because of the face. It has a very candy-esque color scheme, bright yellow, pink and orange, and I'll explain that later in more detail, or well, you will know why I gave it this color scheme. Originally I wanted to only show this Fakemon, but then I realized this Fakemon was number 199, so we're only missing one for the 200, so I decided to show you another one. I needed another solo stage and I had the perfect idea for one. Back in October 2023 I introduced you a special one-stage monotype Fakemon called the Collect 100 Fakemon, a group of Fakemon where you have to collect 100 of one item and then a special Fakemon will show up. Fluwuwu was fitting perfectly well into the concept of a grass-type popcorn-shaped Collect 100 Fakemon, which was suggested by Roxanne Winslow. They also suggested a fire-type mon based on spicy candy, which is the perfect counterpart for our sweet stubby grass ball. The main base are these spicy gummies shaped like jalapenos, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I've seen a bunch of videos on Instagram where people put spicy flakes on fruits, which apparently is associated with Mexico. And that's definitely a country where people are more used to eating spicy food. Unlike Germany, I don't think there's any traditional spicy German food. Horseradish sauce is probably the most spicy thing we traditionally have here, besides stuffed with pepper. But fortunately, people from all over the world live here and share their cuisine with us. Yeah, I don't think I could survive with only German food. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Especially after I stopped eating meat, there's not a lot of vegetarian food. Yeah. Anyways, because of the spicy fruit imagery from Mexico, I gave it a pattern on its back that are supposed to look like chili flakes, and I added a mask inspired by Lucha Libre masks that usually have some pattern around the eyes. Lucha Libre is a special type of wrestling originating from Mexico. The colors are what you would expect from a jalapeno Fakemon: fiery, bright red and orange, as well as green. And here it is, number 200 as of now, the pure fire type Hashasha. The name comes from the term Hashasha, which according to Urban Dictionary is the action of rolling hot food in your mouth until you can eat it. And the shine is inspired by the ghost part of ghost peppers, so it's like this white and blue. So, like I said, these two Fakemon are part of the so-called Collect 100 category of the Jermanzburg region. Last year I made a video about the first two of these creatures, the ghost type Fluwuwu and the psychic type Gibbster. You have to collect 100 honey candies for Fluwuwu to show up. They can usually be found near trees or on flower fields and near candy shops. For Hashasha, you need 100 spicy candies, which usually are found near restaurants with spicy food or also near candy shops. So, if you collected 100 of these items, would you be pleased with the Fakemon that are gonna show up? I know these Fakemon are very gimmicky, but I want the journey to fill out the Pokédex of the Jermanzburg region to be fun, exciting, and give the player diverse ways of catching Fakemon. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please leave a like if you did, subscribe to not miss future content, and see you in the comments.